Good morning, everyone, and welcome to AMHQ Early. I'm Jen Carfagno, and we'll get you started by talking about the rain that just won't end in the southeast. Atlanta, it is never ending, and when you look at the stats, it kind of tells you the story that is never ending. Atlanta, you've had cloudy days for the last 9 out of 9 days. Birmingham, it's been 8 out of the last 9, and you look at the rainy days for Atlanta and Birmingham and Raleigh and Jackson and Charleston, and we have had more than half of our last almost 10 days here with rainfall, and it continues this morning. Lots of moisture still at play here across the south and east, and if you're in Tallahassee or Apalachicola, you know that there's some big rain potential in a few spots, but for a lot of folks, you're just stuck in the low clouds and the drizzle and the mist, and that's going to be the case again today across northern Georgia and the upstate of South and North Carolina. All right, let's take a look at the rain right now. Tallahassee, after more than 2.5 inches of rain yesterday, we've got more rain coming in. Rain around Panama City this morning. I-10 is pretty wet out there. Some thunderstorms going on at the moment. We're also looking at more rain back into Charleston, and we are monitoring the flood threat here. If there is a concern for that right now, there is no warnings in effect for you there. Now, Asheville, we've got more steady rain coming on in. Greenville, a very steady rain. You can see throughout the entire area where the rain is right now. So let's track it out through today. Your Monday is going to be cloudy and wet. I'm sorry to say, I know it was a tough weekend for a lot of us here across the south and east, and Monday weather not much different. You can see the low clouds stick around even if you don't get the real heavy downpours, and I think likely there'll be some drizzle and some mist out there, just like we had right through the weekend in the south and east. Jacksonville, more rain coming your way today. When do we get to break out? I know you saw a sign of that coming by tomorrow, but for today, we've got the rain, and it could really be heavy at times, especially here in eastern North Carolina, where we've got 3 to 5 inches of rain possible in some local spots. Atlanta, we finally get the sun back out in full bloom by Wednesday, and temperatures warm back up. All right, let's talk about the next big story weather-wise that's going to be developing, and that's the chance for some storms across the middle of the country. We're going to start in Dallas, Texas, where you've got a great-looking day ahead. This is where the sun will be out. Temperatures are starting in the 50s, but we have that chance of severe weather across the plains. We're going to show you where and who is at risk for that. Let's look at the setup as we get you into midweek here. So, you know, this is a typical sort of severe weather threat type situation when we get to November. This certainly happens. You get a big dip in our jet stream, upper level energy building out of the Rockies, coming out into the plains. Lots of strong jet stream energy, not to mention there'll be some moisture returning as we get a surface front, low pressure, cold front, warm front developing. So we're going to keep an eye right on this area, right in here, right in between the low and the two fronts. That's going to be the spot that we watch for the potential of severe weather. And the timing of it is likely to be early in the day on Wednesday, which is a little atypical, right? You think of afternoon and evening thunderstorms. So we got to watch for that as we get you into Wednesday. We'll time it out and take a look at all the ingredients coming together. Right now, all of the ingredients are in the west, and part of the reason why we're getting some snow in the west, and more on that story coming up. But by Wednesday, all of the energy coming out into the plains, and we will look for the chance of storms. So let's show you how it's going to time out here. Your Monday into your Tuesday and then Wednesday. So we've got snow coming out of the Colorado Rockies. As the system moves out into the plains, there's going to be some warm air. There's going to be dew points returning back up here, and we're also going to look for the instability right up into parts of Iowa and into Missouri. Now, also at the same time, it is going to be very windy right across the upper Midwest, and so that's going to be a part of this story as well. Getting you right through the day on Wednesday. Severe storms are possible, especially early in the day. Kansas City, Des Moines, and we'll look for that risk of storms perhaps all the way down into eastern Texas as well. All right, time now that we're going to get you up to date with your morning's weather headlines. Anaridis is here. Good morning, Anaridis.
Good morning, Jen. Good to see you. Happy Monday.
Yeah, happy Monday to you, too. Let's get this day started.
Good morning to you at home. Let's take a look at your weather headlines this morning. Jen, 10 minutes past the hour on this Monday. Once the sun comes up, engineers in Mississippi will begin studying a big hole to figure out what caused the ground to cave in. It's first in our roundup of weekend weather news, in case you missed. Jen, that snow still coming down in the western mountains. You've got an update on that, but all of this, all that snow, really good for the drinking water possibly later on.
This is fantastic news when it comes to the snowpack and what we need out here in the west. Let's take a look at what's going on. Northwest Seattle, we've got rain, temperatures in the 40s. It's a lot like the Atlanta forecast if you're comparing notes there. So yes, we're going to have a lot of rain to talk about in the northwest as our system swings on in. Actually, we've got some unsettled weather all the way down here across a good chunk of the west. So we've got the winter weather advisories in blue right along the Sierra, a good chunk of interior Nevada as well. And then, of course, up into Montana and Idaho. You can see as you look at our weather map, a lot of colors on here. You get up in elevation anywhere above 7,000 feet in the Sierra, you will see snow, maybe more than a foot of snow, but snow levels will be dropping as our system swings on in, and we'll get the snow all the way down to about 4,000 feet, even down into the southern Sierra. So here by tomorrow, we see the whole thing swing on out into Utah, into Colorado, Denver. This is going to be our first big snow of the season, and I put big in quotes because it's a couple of inches, but still, you know, fun times the first one, and no doubt some changes in driving patterns and habits. We see this whole thing move out into the plains, and this becomes the next weather story for the middle of the week in the plains. All right, let's get you through the week and to the weekend. I know that it's just Monday, but we're going to go ahead and take a look at what's going on as we take you out into... Here we go. First day of a new show, so we'll figure out where I got to be. But looking ahead from today right to the weekend. All right, so we're taking a look at your Monday forecast, and we are talking a lot about the west and the active weather and the southeast and all of the rain that we're going to keep going on. Those two things are on the move, and by Tuesday, I'll tell you the story what's on this weather map. By Tuesday, northeast gets the rain. Then by Wednesday, the western system goes into the middle of the country, and this is where we're going to see the risk for thunderstorms. Wednesday, especially early in the day Wednesday, there could be severe.
I would find some corn in the supermarket this morning if I was trying to save some money.
I'm looking for apples. Do you read about all the new apple varieties that are coming out? It's very exciting, actually. And, of course, a lot of them come out of Washington State, where we're going to be having some rain. Big system diving into the west, bringing some cold air with it. So get ready for temperatures to fall, snow levels to drop. It's going to be impacting travel in the west, and that system moves out into the Rockies and then eventually into the plains. That's the big weather maker for this week. As we see this whole thing dive out into the plains, severe weather is a possibility. Wednesday is the day to watch, especially early in the day. So northeastern Kansas, northwestern Missouri, storms with hail, damaging winds, and there is a tornado risk. 3s and 4s on our Torcons. It's November. It's going to be early in the day that we watch this, so we have an early heads up for you on the situation. Again, Wednesday we'll see the rain and a lot of very strong gusty winds blowing all the way up into the Great Lakes area. You know how November goes. It's a very windy month, and that's the kind of situation we'll see Wednesday and Thursday right through the Midwest. It presses into the Northeast by Thursday, and then we are working for the weekend. Friday kicks it off with some sunshine in the Southeast. Will we have a sunny weekend? Yes. Good Atlanta, temperatures in the 50s with the sun out, and it continues on Sunday. We'll be right back.